Welcome to Heavyweights here at the gym. You need a spawner?
Oh, well, I didn't realize there'd be a world-class athlete here. Wow, you must be slumming it with these regular college kids at the gym today.
I'm no different than you or I, Brown Eyes.
Wow, you could tell that they're brown. You pay attention and listen.
Oh, it's easy for me. Don't mention it. Here we are, 15-pound dumbbells. Let's rip some shoulder thrusts.
I don't think that's what they call them.
Keep thrusting. Don't stop until they're over your head.
Wow, that I can feel all down on my shoulders. Whew, I think we need to grab a drink.
Whoa, it's only 10 a.m. How about a green veggie drink? I know a place.
Oh, wow, is it a juicing hot spot nearby?
Yep, the juice bar on the first floor.
Is it as hot as you sleek, shiny, hot guy?
Nope, it's more like my demeanor. Chill.
Oh, I will now kiss you.
And scene. Wow, that was an incredible reenactment of a truly wonderful happening. Can either of you guess what event we just played back there? Can anyone guess?
No.
No? Okay. Well, that was me, immediately charming international supermodel Cindy Crawford at the DePaul gym my senior year. So that happened, and pretty amazing, right? Yeah, I have a way with words. Well, that's exactly what our contestants will be battling about today as they list off their top 5 events witnessed in person. Cannot wait to hear what y'all's eyes have seen. Before we get this game on the fast track to full hootenanny city, though, let's get everyone up to speed and do a quick rundown of the rules.
Each player in the den has spent time with today's topic arranging their top 5 answers in order of importance. Those answers have been submitted to the host who will moderate the game, awarding points to the player with the most poignant answer.
Starting with their number 5 choice, we will move up the ranks until we reach each of their top answers. But if both contestants happen to have the same answer on their list, well, we have an Uber stare-down.
You will hear the official Uber Cinco siren, and both players must reveal their answer and what number they ranked their submission. An Uber stare-down is all or nothing, with one player earning 3 points. After all answers have been read, the host will reveal the final score.
And also, as you may be able to hear, we are recording outside today for a very fun extra special episode. So there's going to be some Foley noise. I hope you do enjoy it as we are currently. And don't forget, you can join in on the fun by heading over to BizBear.biz and sending us your topics and Fast 5 suggestions. Your submissions just might find their way onto a future episode. That's pretty neat.
That is neat.
That's very neat. Actually, tonight, the Fast 5 comes from a listener. Thank you, Katie Woodruff, down in Huntsville, Alabama. I appreciate you sending in your suggestion. All right, fellas, I'm ready. You're ready. And y'all at home, just in case you get subbed in, stay ready, okay? And look forward to the end of the show when I, your host, will offer up my Fast 5 list of top 5 Kickstarters that never started. All right, boyos, let's do this. Now, as host, I get to make a house rule, of course, for today's show, and the extra element will be a quick fire round about amazing things I've witnessed myself in person. There will be more than one and less than 4 questions to deal with. There will be 3. Each correct answer will result in 1 point, and the first person to blurt out the answer will gain said point. So here we go. Brian, I've determined you are going first through a complex algorithm that took into account our listener base's shopping habits, income levels, download frequency, and topic preference, which spit out Nathan as the optimal choice, but he won't wipe that shit-eating grin off his face, so I'm choosing you instead. Please take this train out of the station by giving us your number 5 thing you've witnessed in person.
So my number 5 here is the time I was riding the Red Line train to work.
Oh.
And I saw a man poop himself. This was the first time this happened to me.
I was out late, okay? Come on.
So this is when I worked at Tribune Tower. So I had transferred at Jackson going north on the Red Line. And there's a man just standing there, just kind of going back and forth. He looked a little drunk, maybe swaying a little bit. He had a blue windbreaker and khakis on, and the shiniest white New Balances I've ever seen. This is really important. Because as I am admiring this man's New Balance sneakers, a streak of brown starts to overtake the N. And this happens, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I start looking, and I just start seeing people just move away from this man. And I was just very, very scared. I'm like, I only have like 2 stops to go. Do I just wait it out, or do I just I waited it
Is
out?
it starting to pool towards you?
It's not pulling towards me, but I
Okay.
see it on the shoe and it's starting to on the floor.
Oh boy!
Like if we hit the brakes hard, it would have slid one way or the other.
Sure.
Then it would have been bad.
And this gentleman was standing the entire time.
Standing.
Oh my god!
Nothing on his pants, only on his shoe. Like it went all the way down the pant leg without hitting the pant leg.
I think don't you have to be in motion as an adult to shit your pants while standing? Don't only little kids shit their pants while standing?
Apparently not. I witnessed this event.
I feel like most adults lay down or sit down in defeat before that happens, right? They're like, I gotta.
Well, what was his awareness level of?
Absolutely none.
Was he drunk? Was he?
I think he was on something.
On some goofballs or something?
Yeah, but the second part of this story
boy.
is what makes it extremely memorable to me. Is that I told this story as soon as I got to work because you have
Right.
to.
Yeah.
And somebody was a couple of cubicles over. And when I said I saw a man shit himself,
Yeah.
they heard shoot himself.
Oh my god.
So
Wow. So this is really the work interaction we're talking about. More
yeah,
than
the second part of this, mainly, this is mainly because I got a bunch of sympathy I didn't deserve for the rest of the day.
Well, in Chicago, if you ride the train for more than 7 months, there's a good chance you'll see someone shit themselves. So seeing someone shit themselves on the train, not that huge of a deal.
But for me, this was my first experience.
Okay, fair
and
enough.
part 2, what happened when I told people.
So is everybody's coming up to your desk throughout the day being like, are you okay? I heard what happened to you. That's really traumatic.
I'm like, yeah, it was weird, right? I'm like totally like
So they think you're a psycho. You're like,
Complete
yeah,
psycho.
I mean,
I didn't see
it
something.
smelled bad, sure.
I didn't see something horribly tragic.
It was all over his shoes.
Yeah, it was just so odd. And then, yeah. So this, I was like, oh my God, I thought you said this. I finally clued into people at the end of the day. And I'm like, no, oh God. What? Why would you think I'd be so cavalier about such a thing?
Did you go on it was shit, not shot tour throughout the office at the end of the day?
Yeah,
Okay.
How
That's
many
good.
times I to the shit, not shot. Okay,
Yeah.
shit, not shot. Shit, not shot. Come on.
This is why you go with the less vulgar pooping your
Oh, that's
pants.
a good point. Yeah.
I was trying to add a little spice to the
Yeah.
anecdote, okay?
Yeah.
I've since learned my lesson.
Man, dude, I'm in favor of the shit. Do not. Yeah. No, I get that. I get where you're coming from. That is a high level work situation to walk that tightrope on.
Mm-hmm.
That's man, Nathan. Any thoughts here? If you were his coworker, would you? I'm assuming you would clarify in the moment. You wouldn't just assume shot and just go on with your day, right?
I would immediately ask, like, do you need to go home?
Yeah,
And then
sure.
I think that would clear it up. I think, like, no, I don't need to go home because I saw someone defecate. And then I'd be like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
You're
Wow.
Yes, you are correct. There are a lot of words I shouldn't use. I didn't. I am now older. I am now wiser.
No, this is not your failing. This is your coworker's inability to check.
Yeah.
You know?
Why didn't you ask me more questions when you thought I saw something tragic?
That very true. That's an
Yeah.
excellent point.
A standing involuntary BM. That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
Holy crap. All right. Well, Nathan, I hope your number 5 also is not a holy crap. But give us that, please.
My number 5 is the various heroic acts of my cousin Andrew. And this is part 1 because I was going through some stories involving me and my cousin and some very truly superhuman things he's done. And some of them will be used on later episodes for later topics.
Okay.
Here's the one I went with today. So this is a 4th of July party at my Uncle Frank's
Speaking of
farm.
the devil.
Yeah, this has to do with fireworks,
Yep.
and you can hear fireworks in the background here. So I'm terrified of fireworks. So if I dash out of here during the episode, you'll know why.
I should have warned you.
When I was a kid and we would go to the fireworks on 4th of July, my dear grandma Lillian was kind enough to like sit in the car with me while the fireworks happened because I was certain as they were like coming down, they're burning up. I was like, sure. I was like, how can we trust this? This is gonna come hit us. Is everybody watching the same thing I am? I was sure we were all gonna die every year.
Did you have a thunder shirt to wear during this?
I was like a little puppy dog. I was just sweating and panting and So I'm not a big fireworks guy.
Okay.
I don't shoot them off or whatever. But
Okay.
Andrew's uncles on his like other side of the family, his mom's side of the family, they love them. And like one year, I wasn't here for this story, but they were on a dock shooting off all their like illegal fireworks that they drive across state lines to get.
Yep.
And they had a big bag of fireworks, and they lit a firework that then fell into the big bag. And nobody knew that happened, but they just saw all of these grown men run to the end of the dock and jump on a boat and drive away. They waited for all of them to explode. But apparently they hadn't learned their lesson, so they're setting up the fireworks, and wow. I'm entering my senior year, and there's a family friend named Mark who is there, and I'm laying on the ground ready to watch there. And Mark comes up and he sits next to me, and he was a basketball guy, and he's asking me about basketball camp or something, and then he started telling stories about back in the day when he was playing basketball with my Uncle Frank and whatnot. And so we're having that conversation. They're shooting off the fireworks. And then they have one of those ground displays. It's like a spinner.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes off of its mount and starts coming towards everybody in the party. And so everybody is like sprinting and tumbling out of lawn chairs and scattering in all directions. And Andrew, and I don't think he'll mind me saying this, not known for his agility or quickness, he comes flying out of nowhere, and he knows I'm terrified of fireworks, and he knows senior year of basketball is coming up, and he screams out at me and dives in front of me like a security, like a Secret Service guy, like saving the president.
Yeah.
And like takes part of the firework in the chest, and all the like, and I'm running in a full sprint right now, and Mark Bulware is running in a full sprint next to me, very casually telling me about a pick and roll he ran with my Uncle Frank in like 1982. And so yeah, but Andrew sprung into action and headed off the firework as it was heading for me in what I'm sure would have been a career-ending injury at the very least.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5.
I can imagine that firework setting your Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan or Derrick Rose jersey aflame on your body and melting to your skin.
Yeah.
You can't play basketball with minor burns to the chest.
No, you can't. No. It's impossible. It's hard to rebound and get your elbows out in proper form to clear space.
Because of the tight skin.
Yes, because your skin will tear open and blood will come forth.
That's what he's afraid of.
Yeah.
That's what we're going into visceral detail.
You guys, you guys don't know the worst damage fireworks can do, okay? This is
Wow. Sounds like Andrew's a real hero here. Did he get burned at all?
I don't think it was too bad for him. No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So he just that's that cousin
well,
loyalty,
and then,
the cousin love.
And
there.
then he went right back and shot off more fireworks after he was done.
That sounds like me as a child. We would, you'd shoot Roman candles out of your hand. You drop black cats or firecrackers in glass bottles until they shatter.
Yes.
You really firecrackers into piles of dog poop you find around the neighborhood.
I think a Roman candle to the chest.
Yeah,
There's a little burn.
Yeah, a little burn.
Just a little burn.
Wow. That was timed very well.
We've got these on cue.
Oh my God.
Got these buttons all the time. Firework. There we
go. Thank you, Burrow and Earbud. Okay, you guys, I'm going to score you out your number 5s here. Brian, this is disgusting for me to say, but I wanted to hear more about the consistency of the poo. And you didn't give me much of there. And also, you should have said poop. You said shit. And I know it doesn't matter, but that could have been, like, based on their reaction, I don't know. I'm giving you 2 points. I'm giving you 2 points.
Fair enough.
Nathan, Andrew didn't sustain any major injuries. You would have gotten 4 points for this if he had been in the hospital for days. So 2 points for you as well. So let's go back to Brian. Buddy, there it is. There's your starter's pistol, the firework. Let's go. Give us number 4.
My number 4 is the time I watched a toddler tumble down the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
This is fairly recently too. This is within the last probably year and a half. We were visiting one of Jenny's coworkers' house for the first time, and they have a 2-year-old. And we were getting the house tour, and there was us and a lot of people, and the beautiful house, great firework timing, awesome. And we were all on the second floor, really narrow hallways to maximize bedroom space.
Okay.
You don't need 6 people waiting in a hallway to go see what a kid's bedroom looks like.
No.
Seen the house tour, very beautiful upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm going to go downstairs.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting there, and I'm thinking we're going to leave the house soon because it was just a quick drop by.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm just kind of pacing in the living room, kind of doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. And then I hear it. And I turn around. And
Somebody
I
was playing
see-
Phil Collins. Is that?
Yeah. The baby did play Phil Collins with his body down the stairs. So I didn't hear any screams. I only heard the Phil Collins solo. And I turn around and I see him. And I'm just like, I turn around and I only see the last little bit of it. The boom and then the last few stairs. And he lands on it. And it actually wasn't that bad. Most of the time he was sliding down his bum. He wasn't doing like full on.
Oh, sure.
It was more of a startling, like got the wind knocked out of him, freak out.
Sure.
There were no injuries I should probably put there. It was fine. But
damn it.
everyone upstairs doesn't know that I saw the real aftermath. And I'm like, he's going to be fine in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But they only hear it. And and from upstairs, we heard that he was like bolting for a toy. He did the horseshoe. The gate wasn't on because we were all upstairs, and he bolted for a toy, and he just kind of went down.
Sure.
Everyone lost sight of him for a split second, and it happened.
Yeah.
And he was totally fine. But the funny part about this was we later on asked them about that, and you're like, yeah, he now says every time he points when we go downstairs, he goes, baby, go ow, ow. You're like, oh, he remembers. Yes.
Oh my
But it
gosh.
was very scary in the moment. Also, I was so far away from the stairs, I couldn't do anything.
Sure.
And everyone beat me to the landing from coming downstairs as I was walking to it to see what was going on.
So you're saying that the wet bar was a good 10, 15 yards from the stairs, what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
I was definitely,
Yeah.
making sure I was drunk for child neglect,
Sure.
apparently, is what you're trying to get me to say, Mitch. I was stone cold sober.
Okay.
I only had a little bit of chicken wings in my belly,
Oh.
and that was it.
Okay.
I was ready to take care of children, but
Okay.
I was not on duty.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I got to say.
This kid, what's his name? Can you tell us that?
Jackson.
Jackson with an X or
Yes, an X.
an X? Okay.
Yes.
2 X's?
Just one X. I believe.
Okay. Good.
It's going to help me in the score, right?
That actually will help. If it had 2 X's, that
I
would
get it.
bring
I
you
get
down
it. I
a
get
point.
it.
Did this kid do a somersault at all down the stairs
Not from what I saw.
or a front tuck or something? Okay.
I mean, he could have,
Okay.
but I saw him stick the landing,
Okay.
not the aforementioned jump.
Okay. And you were the first one to his aid.
I was not. Everyone beat me down.
Oh, everyone. Oh, you said that. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, you already made a joke about it.
So wait, so you had you had to cap the whiskey, put it back
Correct.
into its
I
original
was at the
position,
web bar.
put the glass back.
Yeah.
That does take a while to make it sure it looks the same way it did. Okay, Nathan, I know you have cousins, nieces.
I do.
Have you ever been the one expected to arrive first to the scene of a crime?
Yeah.
I'm a children's crime.
Yeah, a child's crime. Yeah.
I was quite young myself, and one of my cousins was having a birthday, and they had a blue Power Ranger cake
Ooh.
that was sitting on the kitchen, or no, the dining room, the big
Yeah.
room table. And then my uncle Tom was playing with some of us kids on the floor, and then some other adults were in like the kitchen around the corner, and the cake was left unattended.
What?
And then one of my other younger cousins like got up and like just took a finger and like just right down the old Blue Ranger's face, just a nice little dollop out of frosting, and mwah. And so we all turned, and everybody's like, oh no, it's the cake, and rushing over. And then my aunt is like with a knife, just like going like, you know, trying to smooth it out, like, it's okay, you know, crisis averted, and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
But then and everybody is like, you know, the cousin that quote unquote ruined the cake is crying and feeling bad, and she was like, I don't know, 3 years old or something at the time. And it was like, no, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. And then my grandmother out of nowhere goes, well, I think it was Tom and Nathan's fault. Wait a minute.
Well,
So yeah, I failed, I guess, and I was 7 probably.
How can you expect a 7-year-old not just be jealous of the younger cousin? Be like,
I have
you know,
no idea.
that's crazy. Wow. All right. Well, Nathan, let's move along here to your number 4. Give us that, please.
This is the greatest sporting event I've seen in person, and that was Game 6 of the 2009 first round series between the Chicago Bulls and the Boston Celtics.
Oh my God.
This is the greatest
I almost picked this.
night in Bulls history since Michael Jordan retired.
Wow.
So this series had 7 overtime periods across the 7 games.
Oh my God.
5 games were decided by 3 points or less, and the teams won every other game between game 3 and 7. And so this game, Game 6, had 3 overtimes, and it was like a heavyweight bout. It was just back and forth. I was sitting way up in the nosebleeds. I had a couple acquaintances from DePaul. I can't even remember how we stumbled into the tickets, but I think we got them for free, and it was like we got them handed to us basically, and we like through some giveaway like on campus, and we just like headed straight to the game. Like just
so you twice have gotten given. That's a phrase, right? Gotten given.
Gotten given, yeah.
You've gotten given free Bulls tickets. One to incredible seats, and the other one to an incredible game.
Yes.
You lucky son of a bitch. I'm so jealous. Oh my God. Okay.
It was, I mean, that was part of what made this incredible, was it was completely unplanned. And
was this just as good as the game we went to in 2005 when I brought you to the Pistons game?
That game was fun because that was the first time I ever saw Michael Jordan in person.
Oh, well, thank God. Actually, I do remember you freaking out during that. You were just sitting in a luxury suite.
I saw Michael Jordan sitting down, and I had never been in the man's presence before, and I was pretty excited.
Only time I've ever been in the man's presence is when he showed up at Proviso West High School because his son was in the basketball tournament playing for Whitney Young. So I'm there for like 2 seconds, and I was like, "Oh, that was Michael Jordan. Cool."
That was a much more healthy reaction than the one I had.
I remember you yelled like, "Look at him eat popcorn! Oh my God, it's so elegant. It's art." And I was like, "I agree. He's the best." Sorry, keep going.
Art. Well, yeah, this game was the stress of, you get to the end of the game 4 separate times at the end of the game, and then every overtime, and it just gets exponentially worse and worse, and where everybody in the crowd is just living and dying. Mm-hmm. The atmosphere was electric. Ray Allen for the Celtics scored 51 points that game. It had a bunch of random characters in it, like Brad Miller and John Salmons. Who the hell are they? Nobody remembers. They were making big plays for the Bulls. Derrick Rose's rookie year, he was there. He missed 2 free throws at the end of one of the overtimes, but he also blocked Rajon Rondo's shot. Kirk Heinrich got in a fight with Rajon Rondo. Kevin Garnett was injured and on the bench and talking a bunch of trash, and he actually left the floor early. It was a whole thing. And but the highlight of the game was at the end of the third overtime, Joakim Noah, my 3rd favorite Chicago Bull ever, and somebody who I've dressed up on more than one Halloween. Mm-hmm.
Some would say now even.
I still
it's just the hair.
Still got the hair thing. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. The order goes Eddie Curry, Scottie Pippen.
Right.
Joakim Noah. Yeah. Okay.
Then Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's a distant 7th after Bill Cartwright.
Yeah. Also, if you get the Eddie Curry reference, good for you.
So Joakim steals the ball from Paul Pierce, dribbles the length of the floor, dunks all over Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce fouls out, and that pretty much seals the game. And that was it. And then I know this actually is a special night for Mitch as well, because I think you were having a pretty good day that day too. And later that day we met at Kingston Mines with a bunch of our friend group. I don't know if you remember.
That's right.
And so I was just high on life and still wearing the free T-shirt I got at the Bulls game, and we went and listened to some blues. And
I remember there's a picture of you, myself, Brad, and Alan that is still in my parents' fridge to this day.
Well, there you
go.
go.
From that evening. Yes, that's right. Oh, that was a hell of a dancing
All people
night.
The audience have no clue.
Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, no, just our best, like the Rat Pack of DePaul, basically. So
your Rat Pack.
Sorry, our Rat Pack, our very
Rat Pack of DePaul.
Wow, this is another time. Jealous of your sporting ticket life. This is nice. Nathan, I'm giving you 3 points. Of course, I love the hoops. You're playing to the crowd on this one. Brian, I was gonna give you 1 point, but then you let us know that the toddler was speaking in the third person because of this accident, which I love that detail. So I'm giving you 2 points. And now, guys, it's time for the first bonus question.
Oh.
Here we go. Brian, do you have any music on the soundboard? Something like boom, boom, boom.
That is literally all I got.
Here we go. Okay, here's the question. Just remember, I'll read out. There's 3 possible answers. First person to say the correct answer wins. All right?
Got it.
I once witnessed multiple parents chaperoning a St. Luke's dance. At this dance, these parents chased boys off from grinding on their daughters. How many of those boys that got chased off went back onto grinding on the same daughter? Was it 2? Was it 4? Or was it 5 different boys?
5.
4.
Oh, not yet. All right, you guys both missed it, just barely. I guess someone could have guessed a little right away and gotten it 2, but it was 2.
Okay.
That's just what happened. Me and Joe Kratzky, who went back on Grinding on Daughters.
You were one of the grinders.
We got chased out the back by Jenny Doherty's dad and yelled at heartily in the parking lot. So I thought he was going to kill me, but he didn't, thank God. So
That's it happened to me once too, where I was at a dance and I wasn't grinding, but my hands were on the butt, and the band teacher came by. Hands up, Ernst. That was the only time I was gonna get to touch a butt in 8th grade. Come on, let me have this.
I hope that was worth it. It sounds like it was.
It was totally worth it.
Cool. Well, Brian, it's your time to give us your number 3, so please do that for us.
My number 3 is The Wind Kicks Up. This is a good one.
Yep.
This is the event I saw was me reaching my breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
This is my number 3 because I think you guys know me as pretty even keeled. I can get a little feisty once in a while, but I never lose my cool professionally. This time I totally did. Long story short, an acquaintance from college happened to arrive on set while I was in charge of a corporate video shoot for this company. In the background, he happened to have been hired by this company very recently to do video work internally. We were hired to do this work before they had somebody internally.
Okay.
He technically did not start until Monday, and this shoot was on a Thursday or a Friday. It was a week before he was actually supposed to be there. So he's not even on the payroll at this point.
Wow.
So
he's showing up to work for free.
Yes, he's showing up to help.
Okay.
To kind of put his feet in the ring there to be like, I'm a helper. I'm somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
And he was helping. Like first it was like PA stuff. He started helping to move cables, move lights. Then he started to produce like, hey, what if we shot this over here? And it's all this stuff. And then after one like B-roll setup of like getting shots of 2 people sitting and having a conversation at a table, like after I yell cut, he jumps in. He's like, okay, how about next time we do this? And now he's jumping in on it. So my blood is starting.
And you're a director, I'm guessing,
yes,
right?
I was a director on this. And I'm like, one, we don't have a lot of time for B-roll. We had to shoot like 12 interviews or something all in an 8-hour day. It was a very, very packed day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we do not have time for this B-roll. Like once and done, it's going to be in the video for 12 seconds. Nobody cares. We got to get on with our day.
Yep.
So these little infringes started happening. And then like I'm talking to a couple of other people who also knew him from school. And they're like, yeah, this is getting blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then we finally get to the interview where we were setting up all the lighting for the CEO of this company. And he does something again to step on my toes. And I snap. And I was like, we were hired to do a job. You weren't. Can you get out of my way? Something along those lines. Yeah. Very stern. I was very angry. Should not have been said, especially in front of the CEO. I should have said, can we step outside? Blah, blah, blah. But he ended up pulling me aside after the interview and being like, you can't talk to me that way in front of the CEO. So now I'm boiled even more. And I was like, you don't have any say here. It's not your contract. I was hired to do this job for them through the company that I represent.
Yeah.
You got to slow your roll.
Yeah.
We luckily buried the hatchet right there, right then. But that day I learned what it takes to get me to that point, and 2, how much it bothers me for the time after it. the amount of anxiety and like sleep I lost, like playing it over in my head for the nights to come, like that. And like from then on, I called this kid my nemesis. So this is the person that got under my skin and ruined it. And funny enough, he ended up doing a project for somebody else I knew. He was supposed to shoot and edit a wedding. He shot the wedding, never delivered on an edit. And this person asked me if I could edit all of his footage to deliver the wedding video.
Wow.
So it was like, again, later on, he's still messing with me indirectly.
And he's here tonight.
Yeah.
So
Welcome, Damien Chazelle, award-winning director.
luckily, we were friendly after that. Everything was fine. But it was like that was the worst.
Wait, so is he still your nemesis?
I don't have a nemesis. Do I look
Okay.
like I need a nemesis?
I mean, I know your blood, and it can boil.
Yeah, my blood can boil.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
And especially we're not a part of any conversations leading up to this day.
Sure.
Like you just show up and I'm going to do this. Like, no, you can't do that because everybody will fail then because of you.
Yeah.
So no fireworks for that one, huh?
Well, as you were describing it, as your blood was like kicking up in tempo a bit, the fireworks were going off at a higher tempo there.
Yeah,
So
I can feel it a little bit in my pulse right there. I'm good.
Yeah.
My watch may go off and be like, your heart rate, like you haven't moved, but your heart rate is really high. Like that happened to me one time in my life when I was in an argument with a gun nut on a Facebook comment group. I was sitting at a computer. I engaged when I shouldn't have. Another lesson I learned. And then my watch did go off. It's like, your blood pressure, your heart rate's been over 120 beats per minute. And we're not tracking any GPS location data. You may want to seek help.
Oh my God.
I'm like, okay, put the Facebook away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so that's a real thing.
I'm kind of stunned by that last part. I am. I'm stunned by that. I didn't know the watch was that smart.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Nathan, I know that you've been on a number of sets in your life. What is the most deliciously cutting thing you've wanted to say to someone on set but didn't, or swallowed it last minute?
It was a long time ago. I was actually acting in something, and we had to drive as a unit like an hour and a half to get to the location.
Ooh.
And a couple people were late, and so the whole group was late. And then I heard one of the crew members who was late. It was because he was out for a birthday party the night before of somebody they know. And he was like, well, it was so-and-so's birthday, so I wasn't going to miss that. And I was just like shaking I wanted to turn and just be like, you wasted everyone's time and money, and like just so you could go get drunk. Well, it was so-and-so's birthday. Like, it was fuck so-and-so.
Did they also show up with a coffee in their hand?
No, I don't think so. But it was not my place to say anything. And so I just kept my mouth shut and gave him the stank eye for the rest of the day. And yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair freaking enough.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, there's your fireworks now.
Finally.
They're going off. I have seen you, Brian. I've seen you angry. I haven't seen you blow up at anyone. So I would love to see that someday. Putting your foot down and clearly stating your objective. I'd love to. I mean, maybe not directed at me, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
that might not be great.
No.
But it's someone else.
But that's just it. I genuinely just get along with most people. Like, I can be hard-headed, but like I am not like looking. Like, you can say your opinion and we can disagree and move on. Yeah. Especially in these production type situations. But I'm like, you got to be working with the team.
That's true.
You can't be slowing it down.
Yeah. Classic teamwork makes the dream work, especially in film production. Okay, well that was Brian's number 3. Nathan, slide us your number 3.
My number 3 is Ryan Giggs celebrating the English Premier League title all by himself.
What?
Ryan Giggs, for those who don't know, one of the great soccer players of his generation. He played for something like 23 years for Manchester United.
Wow. That's a long career.
Yeah. He's the most. He's won the most actual like trophies of any British footballer ever. And so this is later in his career, 2011. And I went to the Manchester United game, last home game of the season. They had already wrapped up the title. They had run away with it that year. So the game didn't really mean a lot. But after the game was when they were going to have the trophy presentation and the whole, celebrations and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So earlier that day, as it happened, Ryan Giggs had been getting up to no good.
Yes, he had.
He had some extramarital affairs with a reality TV star and with his sister-in-law. So that's fun for everybody.
On the same day?
Maybe.
He was in excellent shape. Incredible stamina.
Yeah, I mean,
he could go end line to end line very easily. Yeah.
And so he had filed a super injunction against Twitter.
Yeah.
So he couldn't be named. And this is like the Streisand effect, which is when she wanted people to not take pictures of her house that was and so everybody's like, well, we got to take pictures of the house now. Yeah. And so it was like Giggs had tried to stop this information from getting out, but then 75,000 people named him on Twitter. And then somebody on, it was a member of Parliament, actually named him on the Houses of Parliament, even though he wasn't supposed to. He's like, well, we're not going to arrest 75,000 Twitter users. So, so anyways, the cat was out of the bag on that very day. And so then the game ends.
Oh my gosh.
And Manchester United won 5-3. So everybody's in celebratory mood. They bring out the trophy, end of the year. Yeah. Songs are sung. Confetti is coming down or whatever. And then all of the players, their wives and girlfriends and partners and children come out. And so, Wayne Rooney's carrying his 1-year-old son around, waving and holding hands with his wife and the rest of the team with that. And then there's Ryan Giggs, the most senior member of the team, just kind of walking around on his own, looking around like, oh God, I'm really in trouble. And so the United fans at the time had a song, we do what we want, we do what we want, we're Man United, we do what we want. And so as Giggs was walking around looking all forlorn, 75,000 people started singing, he shags who he wants, he shags who he wants, that boy Giggsy, he shags who he wants. And it was an utterly bizarre afternoon. Wow. And there you go.
Did he acknowledge the crowd when they were saying that, or did it just make him bury his head farther to his chest?
I think he kind of turned inward and tried to get lost in the crowd and what have you. Yeah.
Can we give props to the coordination of that crowd?
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive.
I mean, it's like when somebody starts the wave, it was like one little group started singing and then it just spread around the entire stadium.
The amount of times it needs to repeat to get around the entire, that's amazing.
It happened pretty quick.
Wow. My God. Well, also he's famous for his longevity in career.
Yes.
Longevity in stamina. Longevity. He also put out a workout tape, right?
He did.
And but not known for his longevity in his penis department, I'm pretty sure, right? Just a very average, if not lower.
I don't have that information on file.
Oh, I do. Yes, I have it right here actually. 4 1/4. So and I think that's centimeters. Yes, yeah. That's metric. Yeah, that's metric. So, wow. I mean, Ryan Giggs, a pure legend, perhaps one of the top 3 United players ever, probably, right?
Could very well be.
Based on
not apparently not the greatest man though.
Based on winning, on titles, on trophies.
Then he's number 1.
Yep. Okay. Wow, that's tough. That's a tough.
Based on the things that matter, is he number 1? Yes. Okay, got it.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. This is my time to scroll at this number 3 again. Nathan is playing to the host here with the sports. I very much. You let me talk about stamina a number of times, which I did appreciate that without stopping me. So you both are getting 3 points for this because Brian, I encourage you to continue to share your thoughts in public settings like that more and more in your life. I think it's very, very cathartic. Guys, it's time for the second bonus question. And this time, let's have like a little more excitement going on.
I'm so excited for this question. What is going to be the question, Mitch?
This is a much better question. The first one, I admit, I wrote very late at night. Not that great. Poorly worded. This one, much better. Okay, you ready?
We're so ready.
Yes, okay. I once witnessed Chicago's finest, those are the police, illegally enter my apartment, search it without a warrant, find contraband, and tell me to fuck off after I told them it was illegal, what they were doing. How many Chicago police officers did it take to secure my cash payment to the taxi driver that evening? Was it 2? Was it 3? Or was
4.
it 6?
6.
Someone else has to guess another number.
4.
2.
No, 4 was not one of it. It was
3.
2.
3.
3. You said 3.
I don't know what the numbers are.
It was 3 police officers. It only took 1 to pin me to the wall. Okay. Here we go. Let's go on to our number 2.
Are any of these bonus questions not numbers based?
They're all number based.
Hi, is it 2, 3, or maybe 6? I don't know.
It's a random guess, you know?
Pick a number. That's the new bonus round.
It's mainly just a way to tell a story. That's all.
Like, why make it multiple choice? Just let us shout out numbers until we get it right.
Okay, fine. The next one, I'll do that.
All right, I can't wait.
Okay. Thank you for helping me edit my material as we go. I do appreciate that. All right, number 2. Let's get to them. Brian, don't slow us down. Give us that good.
Although this thing I witnessed was very slow.
Oh.
And it was the boat filled with Coast Guard members floating down my street after a flood. I remember we opened our front door to see the Coast Guard in our suburban street. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
They had to drive that boat there, right? There's no way.
Well, yeah, it was on a trailer, but to get to the middle of the street, they had to drive the boat down the street. It wasn't not a giant boat that you would see off the coast. It was a little 4-seater.
It wasn't an ocean liner?
No, it wasn't a yacht. In freaking 4 feet of water. No. So this happened, I forgot what year it was. Whatever year they were filming the Transformers in Chicago, that was the year that it happened.
2006.
That was one of the reasons they gave us for why the flooding happened, is that they didn't open certain dams and locks that would have raised the river downtown, and it would have ruined filming. That was the whole blah, blah, blah.
Wait, Are you fucking serious?
That's what we heard, rumor, not substantiated, but that's
okay.
kind of what we all started to believe. But really bad rain, everything was happening. And at one point, you guys have been to my parents' house.
Yep.
Top of the porch on one side to the top of the porch on the other side of the street. Water all the way up.
Whoa.
Some of the worst flooding I've ever seen. Luckily, like the side windows of the house, of the basement house, like kept a lot of the water out, but 4.5 feet in the basement.
Oh my God.
Yes. Not on a floodplain, never had flood issues, nothing like that. And and that happened. So, funny enough, this was the first year Ridley Scott's production company was producing a documentary called Day in the Life, where they wanted you to submit footage from a very specific day. This was the day they wanted everyone to record. Boom, there's the firework. Oh, try that again. Oh. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get in this documentary.
Oh, of course you are. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. I didn't get in the documentary.
What? Oh.
Yes. So,
I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah, it sucked. I was like, what else do you need, Ridley? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
But, we had, this is suburban Westchester in Illinois giving us FEMA damage money for washers, dryers, hot water tanks. Like, this is you hear for hurricanes and tornadoes, not minor floods, but it was so damaging that's what had to happen to us.
Michael Bay should have been paying for that shit. That's what it sounds like.
Well, he needed a new camera, though.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what was happening.
I've heard he has a fleet of Ferraris. He could have sold a number of them. And,
Probably. So this was a very weird thing to witness, especially one, seeing your entire yard just covered in water. Shut up, Siri. Don't tell me about my heart rate. So that was happening. But
did the Coast Guard give you any directions, or did they just kind of float by and go like, yep, it looks good? And
they were basically just checking to see if everybody was okay.
Okay. All right. And there weren't any bodies in the water?
Just mine.
Oh, okay.
Laps.
Oh.
It was butterfly day.
Good time to get some cardio. Yeah.
I'm going to stand because I'm getting a cramp, gentlemen.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'm going to do this part of the show standing. The flood just gets my blood boiling.
Is this the most at risk you've ever felt during a natural disaster? And this goes out to both of you.
No, I mean, during an 8th grade dance, we had a really bad tornado siren go off, and we all had to go into the hall. That was more scary than the flood.
Sure.
No, when Brian's yard flooded was not the most scary I've ever felt. I was
You
miles
son of a
away.
bitch.
Yeah.
Wow. This is there now? You mentioned you got FEMA money. Did you guys pimp out all your shit that you lost?
No,
or?
it barely covered what we lost.
Oh damn it.
I lost all of my mini DV tapes. So everything I filmed on my first trip to Europe is gone because it wasn't digitized.
Oh no.
Anything I filmed on that camera prior to that. My dad lost a bunch of artwork. Like we lost a lot of that stuff.
Sure.
That we couldn't get back. That sucks.
Sure.
But
well, that's a real bummer.
now everything's in plastic in that basement and well off the floor. So.
That's very good. Well, Nathan, I'm gonna slide over to you for your number 2, and I hope yours isn't as wet as that one. I guess. I don't know if that's
very wet.
A good phrase, but yeah. Give us your number 2, dude.
This is not going to surprise anybody that I picked this, but I had to. No getting around it.
Oh, hold on. Can I guess?
Please.
You saw in concert live The Doors.
A band that actually was formed before The Doors.
Oh, it's before The Doors. Oh.
Band formed in 1962. I'm talking about the Rolling Stones.
Oh, yes.
So I've seen them thrice, but the one particular evening that was the most memorable was June 21st, 2019. So I'd seen them in 2006. I love the Stones, as everybody knows about me. Love listening to their live stuff, in particular the concerts. There's an atmosphere about them, just like it's such a good time, fun atmosphere.
Yep.
And they represent something from that time period. They're like the only thing left from like the swinging 60s of London and the original like rock and roll movement.
Yeah.
And they'd been coming to Chicago now for 55 years, going back to when they played
Christ.
at like Chess Records and playing with old blues legends.
Howlin' Wolf and
and Muddy Water. There's a
Muddy
great
Waters.
Keith Richards story where he went to a party at Howlin' Wolf's house and woke up at Muddy Waters' house and he didn't know how he got there. Like that is a good story.
That's incredible.
But yeah, so it was I remember so clearly. I was so excited about this. I got the tickets and I got pretty decent seats and I paid top dollar for them. And then Mick Jagger had to have heart surgery. And I was like, well, that's it. Game over. I'll never see the Stones again. And then somehow, because he's Mick Jagger, they wheel it around. I was the show I was going to see was going to be the last show of the tour. So they just kind of flipped it, like just pivoted on that. And so it became the first show. But I remember I was outside waiting for it, and it looked like it was going to rain, but then it blew over, and the local radio stations were there and playing it, and the tension is building. And I remember sitting there and just thinking, like, let's hurry this up. Let's hurry this up because one of them is going to die backstage and I'm not going to be able to see them. And then the opening act was St. Paul and the Broken Bones. They were amazing. I remember sitting there thinking, God, these guys are this is one of the best concerts I've ever seen. And I wish it was over so badly. I've never wanted anything to end more, because once this ends, my favorite thing ever happens, which is seeing the Stones. And amazing, huge screens, light show. The sound was amazing. They still had it. They played all the hits and a couple obscure ones that I really love. You know, there they were. They were the same guys who were doing it back, contemporaries of the Beatles. And it was, 60,000 people singing along. And then I also had tickets for 4 days later, and you should have seen me. Well, Brian did see me, and that in between those two shows, that was the happiest I've ever been, because I still had the buzz of the first show, and then the anticipation of the second show. Like, that was the sweet spot. Like if I could go back to 1 week of my life, just those few days, everybody who saw me was like, have you drank from the fountain of youth? Like, what is going on with you? I'm like, no, this is just the Mick Jagger energy flowing through my veins. And then Brian was at the show on the 25th, and we had a great time. We met up beforehand, and
here's how good of a show it was. I had the worst seats in the house, and it was an awesome show.
Wow.
My sister and I bought obstructed view last second tickets because they're like, they're available. Want to go? Like, okay, let's go.
Damn.
Yeah, so that was pretty sweet.
That was maybe one of the things that should have been on your list. Is we were sitting on opposite sides of the stage, and we were trying to see each other. And so I stood up and did the flossing dance to like so he could find me. That has to be on your list. Is me flossing from across Soldier Field.
I did see you do that dance in front of how many tens of thousands of people, and you're still here to tell the sales.
Now, save for you can't say "Start Me Up." What's your favorite?
You can't. You have to say that to my dad, not to Nathan.
What's your favorite song to start a Stones show?
I actually was featured on 93XRT's website for predicting what they would open
really?
with. Yeah, because
oh my gosh.
I took they had like a bunch of
Yeah.
quiz questions or whatever, and so I volunteered, and one was like, what do you think they will open with? And it was June 21st, so it was the first day of summer. So I said, Street Fighting Man. Summer's here, the time is right for fighting in the streets.
Yes.
And
Boom.
I called it. Keith walked out and the opening chord, and I was like,
Yeah.
Wow.
it was meant to be.
What's of the 3 times he's been? What's your favorite way to close the show? What song?
I think they closed all 3 with Satisfaction.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, which is just how they've always done it, or for like in the later stages of their career. Yeah,
It's pretty satisfying, so it works out.
Oh, okay. That's right. Wait, but I think you can't. I thought you can't get no satisfaction.
Well, I was satisfied. So
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. You're right. That's a good point.
Their fault. They failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna score this out, you guys. This number 2. I love it because it was opposite ends of the spectrum. You know.
Yeah.
One is completely force of nature, an act of God. You know, it's wet. Actually,
and
the second one was pretty wet too.
Flood, yeah.
Thank you very much. I was getting there. You cut me off. That's fine. Just because the Coast Guard is just such a silly thing to me, because you don't ever really see them do anything normally, unless they're like picking people up out of the ocean. But here they're in suburban Chicago, Illinois, floating by on a.
Okay. What was funny?
You said an ocean yacht, right? It was like a no.
What was actually doubly funny is there was one guy in the boat and there was one guy walking alongside the boat.
Okay, you just gained yourself an extra point. You're both getting 3. That's an easy 3 for me here. Okay, guys, this is the last terrible, painstaking bonus question of the show. Here we go. You both have heard this story before, so it won't be a surprise for you guys. But here we go. I once witnessed a pile of poo on a Chicago public transit train. So I moved cars at the next stop. Turns out the culprit kept the trail of brown sorrow going. How many brown line, no pun intended, cars in a row did this defecating vigilante visit?
4.
3.
4.
Nathan is dead on. 4 cars in a row. There was literally a brown trail that brought you all the way to the treasure. Not really. It was his body asleep on a chair. Here we go. Okay, guys, I need your number ones. I'm gonna switch it up here. I'm gonna flip it. I'm going to go back to Nathan.
Well, yeah, keeping in the theme of bodily functions and disgusting things.
Excellent, yes.
Yeah, my number 1 had to be rock and roll legend Slash's urine slowly draining into porta potty.
Well, before I hear that, continue.
I don't even... Were you in the porta potty? What is...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so here's how it went down.
Together?
It was 2008 Lollapalooza. And the worst thing about Lollapalooza, and the reason I haven't been in 7 years, is the bathroom situation. Is I don't want to pay $300 for 3 days to have to several times a day go stand or, God forbid, sit in a plastic box of human shit that's been in the sun for a whole week.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
For sure.
And so I saw where the VIP area was. And I was like, I bet you, there's the VIP toilets. I'm like, I bet you I can make it there. Like, I've found a little way. I'm like, I can make it there, get in, do my business, get out, and I won't get caught.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just snuck in there, just kind of tried to look, not very conspicuous. And so then the door to the next one switches, the little vacant thing, the little dial there clicks.
Yeah.
The door opens. and out walks the man himself, Slash. And I'm
Full
like,
regalia.
yeah, he had the hat, the sunglasses, everything was going on.
Okay.
And I was like, it will be an honor to urinate after you, sir. And so I walk in and I'm thinking like the VIP porta potties, I'm like, they got to be in better shape, right? And I get in there and no, like I don't know who else was on the bill that year. Like Tom York was fucking shit up in there. I don't know, but I get in and like somebody had like thrown like the paper towel or whatever like into the urinal thing, and it was like gross.
Yeah.
And so like it's still draining. I'm literally looking at Slash's piss right now. And so I do my thing. I leave. I get back to
Did you pee on top
safety.
of Slash's pee?
I did, yeah.
Awesome.
What else
Cool.
was I gonna do?
Yeah.
And so
Collect it?
so
sell it on eBay.
I had signed up for this thing where you would get like a text and there's like a secret show.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And because they have these like tiny little stages kind of hidden away in Grant Park. And so I got a little text message and it was like secret show at this stage this time. And it was like right around the corner from where I was. And I'm like, oh, so that must be what Slash is doing because he wasn't on the bill. So I get around there and it's like a crowd of like 100, 150 people under this little tent. And it's Perry Farrell, founder of Lollapalooza from Jane's Addiction, and Slash. And they're going to do a set. And they get up there. I'm like, this is really cool. Like it's a small little intimate setting. It was going to be very short, you know, because word was spreading and people were coming around. And then their power goes out on the whole stage and they got nothing. And so like Perry Farrell's trying to, you know, keep everybody in and he's clapping or whatever. And he has a new baby and he brings the baby out and he's like, hey, look, it's my baby. Like, hey, yeah, this is cool, right? He's like holding it up like Lion King style. And that gets old after about 10 seconds.
Sure.
And so then Slash starts on just his electric guitar. So you can't hear it unless if you're like right next to it. He starts strumming out the chords to Jane Says, big Jane's Addiction hit. And so Perry Farrell leads us like the 100, 150 people, and we all do an a cappella version of Jane Says together, and then we dispersed, and then that was it.
Wow.
One of the more unique concert moments I've had following the porta potty Slash thing. So there you go.
So that was like 7 minutes tops, and then you were
It was
done.
It was quite surreal.
Oh my god! Did you see Slash? Had he unplugged the power and then he like put his guitar down and ran back to the porta potty?
I'm not done.
Yeah, he left a 4-car trail behind him.
Did you find any still lit like roaches inside the porta potty too, or anything like that behind him?
I can't prove that they were his. I didn't run DNA tests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. What's your favorite thing that you've ever experienced or seen at Lollapalooza that's not music related, like somewhat like a people watching there? And then what's the worst thing you've ever seen a human do at Lollapalooza?
I mean, I got bit at Lollapalooza in 2014. That was the worst.
But you got bit?
Yeah, I got bit.
Human?
By a human being.
Oh.
During a Skrillex set.
That makes sense.
Skrillex was probably the second worst thing I saw at Lollapalooza, and then I got bit during it, so that was really bad.
Was this someone you knew? What had just?
It was a friend of a friend who had overdone it on the party drugs, as I believe they're called, on the streets.
Yes.
Among the youths.
Too much nerds rope.
Yeah.
That shit will send you to the moon.
So then the best thing was probably done by myself, which was when I took a nap in the middle of the field. And I had not been indulging in any chemicals. I was just real tuckered out. And everybody was like, oh, it's cool. And so I laid down and I slept, and people were just, you know, stepping over me. It was halfway between the two stages. So it was like, but people are just trying to and my friends that I was with, like, I finally woke up and I was like, how long was I out? And they're like, oh, like 40 minutes. And I was like, so were people just like stepping on me the whole time? And they're like, oh yeah, the whole time. And it was during a show. I slept through it. And then I woke up in time for, Lupe Fiasco and Rage Against the Machine, if memory serves.
Oh, that sounds like a great show.
It was a fun evening.
Wow. My best experience ever at a music fest here in Chicago. I've never been to Lollapalooza, but I have been to Riot Fest. And I was on said party drugs, the ones that Mario and Luigi eat, if you know those. You know? Yep. The ones that make you larger, seemingly. And the best experience I had was I left my friends for a bit and I went on my own little walk through the Douglas Park. and I got an enormous corn dog. And I sat on a field and I looked up at the moon. Hey!
Nathan's terrified.
Jeez.
And it was
closer.
It was an experience like that. I ate a giant corn dog slathered in just the right amount of mustard and just the right amount of ketchup. And the music was distant. You know, it was nice. It was wonderful. So that was... These fireworks are right overhead.
They are like, get to the Fast Five already.
Okay, Brian, it's your turn.
My number one. I'm going to keep it short because I feel like you guys know all about it. This is the event of witnessing thank you. Witnessing really good friendships fade.
Oh.
Yes. This is the ones I'm talking about, the kind of like tight childhood kinships that dissipate over time, like your neighbor friends or anything like that. Or then when you're finally in high school, you finally find that one clique you get along with, and then boom, they're gone.
We planned this so poorly.
Yes, it is not really a fireworks holiday that we know of.
No.
What? This is a train wreck, you guys. This is 4 train cars long of a steaming shit pile. I'm so sorry. But that's what it's like losing friends.
It's very sad. I totally agree. These fireworks are so goddamn rude.
They're just getting louder.
They will not let us talk. I've experienced the same thing. I know. Well, when you leave high school, Jesus Christ. You know, I was like,
I can't even see them. That's the thing.
We're gonna stay friends. We're gonna be bros.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep up. When we come back from on holidays, we're all gonna hang out. And you go away to college, you come back, whatever. And it just sometimes it just fades real fast. And as soon as the music stops, or as soon as the citrus Smirnoff vodka stops flowing, in my high school's case, it's kind of when the music stopped and the merry-go-round turned off. But Brian, so tell me, what does this keep you up at night? Did you think about this often?
You just kind of have those moments where you wake up and you're like, oh, I wonder how so and so's doing. And then you finally get on the runaway memory train of like, oh yeah, we used to do this, we used to do that. Oh my, we all used to do this as a group. What about so and so and this person and that person?
Yeah,
we spent every waking time together, and especially in the like track I had at school, the way like certain honors classes were broken out, you were with the same group of people.
Yeah,
even though there were 1,000 people in your class.
Yeah,
you were with the same group. It's like I had my Roseville going through this other group of giants. Yeah. So it was like, those are the same people that you either went and did plays with or had after school things or took TV production classes with or did all this other stuff. And you're like, oh, these are the people they're my homies. I like these people a lot. And then all of a sudden we all go to college and boom, it's gone.
It's just gone. Now I'm curious because I feel like there are some people, I'm sure you know some people that are still friends with their
absolutely
high school, and I'm sure there are some cases where you feel sorry for them, perhaps, right? Because maybe they haven't moved on or haven't made new friends or something, or whatever it is. Do you find that it's harder to make friends now, and you feel like the friends you make now are less, maybe feel less permanent just because of the lack of time spent together?
Nathan destroys a moth. He doesn't want to get bit and turn into a superhero.
Yeah.
I think it's not harder to make friends. It's just friends are now more circumstantial.
Yeah.
You have to make them in the things that are convenient to your life. Work, playing on a softball team, whatever the social activity is.
Sure.
That's kind of where you got to find your friends.
Sure.
But there it is. We saw it. Just wanted to say that.
Right there.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was right next door.
It was two doors down, I think.
Oh, okay.
Good job, guys. We'll cut this part out, I guess. What the hell was I saying? They're getting fucking louder.
This is insane.
I didn't really think this was going to be a problem, guys.
You don't need fireworks tonight. There's no reason.
So what was I saying? Yeah, friends are circumstantial now, but on the flip side, I still have some of my closest friends are from 3rd grade, and I celebrate that with fireworks every chance I get.
I see what I like about this right now is that what you're talking about friendship, and every time I feel like I see you guys, it's fireworks, right? It's like we get together, shit happens, fire sparks, it's colors, it's loud, it's bright, it's big. So although it was sad, I feel like your original approach was kind of a sad, mournful thing. That it's like, it's a reflection on what could have been and what is now. Does that make sense? On what could have been and what is now? I mean, that's just what is.
It is.
Yes.
Today. Yeah.
But you left me with a happy taste in my mouth, and I appreciate that. So
it's also gonna be a taste of soot as all this stuff starts raining down from the skies.
Told you it was dangerous.
Like,
I was right the whole time.
Nathan, we can get you into your Thunder shirt here in just a couple minutes. Get you feeling safe again here. All right, that is Brian's number one. Guys, I need to tally up these points quick. I'm going to give you something to chat about quick, and that is the worst concert you've ever been to. Give us some thoughts while I tally here.
Dr. Dog was atrocious at Lolla 2008, as was MGMT.
I was actually going to mention, I had not seen MGMT, but their SNL performance one time, I was like, oh my God, this is on TV.
They have some good music, but when I saw them live, they were pitiful.
I agree with that statement.
Sorry, fellas. I
have not been to a ton of concerts, to be honest. My worst experience, though, is Lollapalooza. It is just an awful place. I did get to work in the press tent that year, though, so I drank my weight in coconut water and whatever else was free back there.
Did not expect you to say coconut water.
Oh, boy, you really cut loose, man.
It was coconut water and some sort of a cold espresso drink. So I was just hopped up all the time.
There must have been an entire porta potty with just your urine in it. If you drank your weight in coconut water.
I was well hydrated, and then I offset it with all the coffee I drank too. So I almost died, but
sounds like another wet experience.
Very wet.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I had these scores tallied here. You actually were tied going in to the final to the photo finish. Brian, I gave you 4 points on your last one because you fought through fireworks. Yeah. You fought through fireworks to fight for your friends, and I love that about your number one. But Nathan did grab the bonus today when he correctly guessed the amount of cars I witnessed poop continuously in on the brown line. So Nathan, you are today's victor with 15 points over Brian's 14.
Thank you.
You guys should really be proud of yourselves. You triumphed in a place of adversity here tonight. So, but now it's time for the Fast Five. Top 5 Kickstarters that never started. Number 5, Oculus Shift. This is Tristan's thesis project for his filmed pictures degree from Cutting Edge Picture Film Academy, which is one floor up from the Sbarro's, just steps from the easternmost Penn Station subway entrance, right in Midtown, New York. It follows Bruno, a misunderstood misanthrope who can't not wear leather and get bombarded by women who don't understand his pain, and he hates his alarm clock. Number 4. Gary's Gallon of Gum. Gary Newacek grew up loving Bazooka Joe bubblegum, especially the jokes. After a late night of having beers with his old buddies from the frat, they all convinced him that he should definitely be doing stand-up on his weekends. But he thought, why not go one further? So Gary set out to write enough jokes for each piece of gum in a gallon jug to be wrapped in a unique joke that wasn't even overly racist. Knock, knock, who's there? That's called a setup. Nobody is knocking down your door. Get back to lawn sprinkler sales, Gary. Number 3. Lemmingwood Revived, a neighborhood retreatians. A mix between retreat and experience. Holy Lord, Kim and Bernard are dedicated to your health, well-being, and loosening of your morals. They love their neighborhood, Lemmingwood, but everyone is pretty adamant against an acupuncture retreatian center, a mix between a retreat and experience, especially one that also specializes in dog boarding and candles. This Nobody is brave enough to speak about this Kickstarter to Kim's face, and everyone that's told Bernard knows he's too chicken shit to mention it to her as they go to bed, but there's a reason. A bank won't give them a loan for Lemmingwood Revived, and now it's time to accept that and go back to working at the co-op. Number 2, hot ice. Beverage connoisseur and entrepreneur Lance Tipple blew himself past the moon with this Kickstarter dream. The name confuses and finds only a dozen takers on the site. Turns out, hot sauce-infused ice cubes for alcoholic drinks was a bad miss. Sorry, Hot Ice, but your demand remains cold. Number 1, the Cooler Cooler. Look out, tailgating moms and dads. The Cooler Cooler is here. While you wait for your college football start time, you need your drinks to stay frosty and the ice to remain frozen. Done and done. Ladies, you might need a small rubberized and motorized hand to extend and gently caress your shoulder as your husband fails to communicate through text exactly which parking lot he's left for to go drink with his old buddy alums he's only seen unsober. Well, you're in luck. The Cooler Cooler is here. Built with military inner core shell to keep the drinks cold and your whiny, overfed children's lunches at the perfect temp where just enough droplets form so their sandwiches aren't too good. And don't worry, they won't let you forget about it, Mom. It's your fault. Need a space to plug in and tune out? Well, the Cooler Cooler purportedly has a USB charging slot, but any faint spritz of liquid, I mean, it's a fucking cooler. When isn't there a faint spritz of fucking liquid will render it useless? But thankfully, you won't realize that until hours later as your children are spread out over acres of parking lot and you desperately need a YouTube break. The Cooler Cooler has a revolutionary hot plate built into its plastic roof lid, just hot enough to grill your burgers, saute onion fillet brats, and slowly melt the surrounding plastic to the point where it feels dangerous. Did we mention there's a cheese grater built in? Also, a small pull-out ledge to display your gaudy necklace collection.
They don't like that one. No, that one gives you the firecracker part.
The Cooler Cooler. Time to show off your cold personality. And that's this week's edition of Uber Cinco. Thank you for holding and with us and just sticking it through. My freaking Lord. Please rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts. Maybe not this one. And once again, we love that hearty wom, word of mouth. Again, not for this episode. So please tell your friends about us and send them your favorite episode that's not this one. Thank you to my scared little guy.
Nathan Henenfett.
And my big wet boy. I've been Mitch Brinkman, and as BizBear always says, when giving advice, be sure to peek in the mirror first. You might just find your first client. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm Peter Zane, and adios.
Jesus Christ.
You've just listened to Uber Cinco, a production of UBK Studios. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your fine podcasts from.
If you like what you hear and want to support the show, please visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/UBK Studios. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the bill collectors at bay.
Keep tabs on us on all the social media at UBK Studios, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see that we really are just a bunch of good Midwestern boys.